Rome holds many wonders. Great churches stand on many corners. Yet San Giovanni Battista dei Fiorentini is special. It rests near the flowing Tiber River. This church speaks of Florence. It is a Florentine heart beating in Rome. For centuries it has welcomed worshippers. It has also amazed art lovers. Its grand dome reaches for the Roman sky. A promise of stories is held within its walls. The church feels important. Its very stones seem to breathe history. It was built for the Florentines. They were a proud people in Rome. They wanted a church to show their faith. They also wanted to show their power. San Giovanni dei Fiorentini became their spiritual home. It also became a symbol of their community. It stands firm, a testament to their dreams. It draws you in. It makes you want to know more. Step inside this magnificent building. You leave the busy Roman streets behind. A sense of peace descends. But it is not an empty peace. It is filled with the echoes of the past. Artists poured their souls into these walls. Architects wrestled with grand designs here. The story begins with a powerful pope. Pope Leo X was a Medici. He was a son of Florence. In the early 1500s, he had a vision. He wanted a great church for his people in Rome. The Florentine community was large and influential. They needed a spiritual center, a place that matched their status. This was the seed of San Giovanni dei Fiorentini. A grand project was born from this papal dream. A competition was announced. This was common in Renaissance Italy. Architects were invited to submit their designs. The challenge was immense. They had to create something truly special, something worthy of Florence, something worthy of Rome. The Florentines themselves were deeply involved. They poured their wealth and their passion into the idea. They wanted a church that would stand for centuries, a symbol of their enduring presence. The chosen site was significant. It was on the Via Giulia. This street was a new, ambitious project itself. It ran along the bank of the Tiber. The church was meant to be a jewel on this grand avenue. However, building a church of this scale was never easy. There were financial troubles, there were technical difficulties. The first architect to win the competition was Jacopo Sansovino. He was a talented Florentine. His plans were magnificent. Perhaps they were too magnificent. He envisioned a grand, centralized church. It was a bold design for its time. It reflected the high ideals of the Renaissance, but building it proved difficult. The costs were enormous. The engineering was complex. Sansovino's initial vision set a high bar. It also highlighted the project's immense challenges. Other great minds soon became involved. Antonio da Sangallo the Younger offered his expertise. He was a master builder in Rome. Michelangelo Buonarroti, the titan of art, also consulted on the project. His ideas were always powerful, always transformative. Baldassare Peruzzi, another respected architect, contributed too. Each of these men left their imprint. Their thoughts and sketches influenced the church's destiny. It was a chorus of genius. Imagine the discussions, the debates among these masters. Each had their own style, each had their own solutions. The Florentine patrons listened, they weighed the options. The church became a kind of architectural laboratory. Ideas were tested, plans were revised. This long period of design was frustrating for some. After many years of planning, real progress was needed. Giacomo della Porta took charge in the late 16th century. He was a practical and skilled architect. He had worked on St. Peter's Basilica. He knew how to manage large projects. Della Porta brought a new energy. He moved the construction forward significantly. He respected the earlier plans, but he also made necessary changes. He helped to shape the church's core structure. Della Porta's work was vital. He focused on the main body of the church. He worked on the transepts and the presbytery. He laid the groundwork for the great dome. His efforts gave the church a tangible form. The Florentines could finally see their dream rising. It was a long and arduous process, but Della Porta's leadership was a turning point. He brought discipline and experience to the complex site. He translated ambition into stone. Then came Carlo Maderno, another giant of Roman Baroque architecture. He took over in the early 17th century. Maderno is credited with the church's magnificent dome. This dome is a masterpiece. It soars above the crossing. It floods the interior with light. Maderno also completed much of the nave. Section 5. Canvas and chisel artistic treasures within San Giovanni dei. Fiorentini is not just an architectural marvel, it is also a treasure house of art. The Florentines were great patrons. They wanted their church to be beautiful. They filled it with paintings and sculptures, works that would inspire devotion, works that would showcase Florentine talent. Walking through the church is like walking through a gallery dedicated to faith and beauty. Each chapel holds its own artistic gems. The chapels are particularly rich. Noble Florentine families sponsored them. They competed to make their chapel the most splendid. Altarpieces gleam in the soft light. Frescoes adorn the walls and ceilings. Sculptures add a three-dimensional power. The materials are lavish. Marble, bronze, and rich pigments abound. The overall effect is one of opulence. But it is an opulence dedicated to the glory of God and to the honor of Florence. Many artists contributed to this splendor. Some were famous, others are less known today, but all played a part. They worked in the styles of their time, from the late Renaissance through the vibrant Baroque period. You can see the evolution of art within these walls. Section 6, Masters of Light and Shadow, Notable Works and Artists. Among the many artists, some names stand out. Giovanni Battista left his mark here. He was a prominent painter in early 17th century Rome. Baglione is perhaps most famous for his rivalry with Caravaggio. His style shows a strong command of composition. His figures are expressive. He contributed significant works to the church. His paintings add to the rich tapestry of art. They capture the religious fervor of the era. Another key artist is Federico Barocci. His work is known for its soft colors, its gentle emotional appeal. While Barocci himself did not directly paint large pieces in the church, his influence was felt. His style impacted many artists of the time. However, the church does boast an important copy of his Noli Me Tangere. More directly, the church holds significant works by artists like Santi di Tito. His preaching of John the Baptist is a notable piece. It captures the energy of the saint. Consider the work of Ludovico Cigoli. His painting of St. Francis receiving the stigmata is powerful. It shows the saint in a moment of intense spiritual experience. The light and shadow create a dramatic effect. This was typical of Baroque art. Section 7, Whispers in Stone Crypts, Relics and Unseen Stories. Beneath the grand church lies another world, a world of shadows and secrets. The crypt of San Giovanni dei Fiorentini holds many stories. It is the final resting place for many notable Florentines. Artists, patrons and clergy found their peace here. To descend into the crypt is to step into a quieter, more intimate history. The air is cool, the silence is profound. It is a place of memory. One of the most famous figures buried here is Francesco Borromini. He was a brilliant and troubled Baroque architect, a rival of Bernini. His innovative designs changed Rome, yet he chose this Florentine church for his burial. His tomb is simple, almost hidden. It speaks of a complex man. Finding his resting place is a poignant moment for many visitors. It connects them to one of art history's most fascinating characters. The church also holds precious relics. These are objects of deep veneration. One curious legend speaks of a relic of St. Mary Magdalene's foot. Such relics were vital in medieval and Renaissance faith. They drew pilgrims. They offered a tangible link to the sacred. Whether fact or folklore, these stories add to the church's mystique. Section 8, a beacon of faith, the church during the Counter-Reformation. The construction of San Giovanni dei Fiorentini spanned a critical era. The Counter-Reformation, this was the Catholic Church's response to the Protestant Reformation. It was a time of spiritual renewal, a time of reaffirming Catholic doctrines. Art and architecture played a huge role in this. Churches were meant to be inspiring, they were meant to be didactic, they were meant to showcase the glory of the Catholic faith. San Giovanni dei Fiorentini embodies these counter-Reformation ideals. Its vast interior speaks of the church's grandeur. Its clear layout allows for large congregations. The art within is not just decorative, it teaches, it inspires devotion. Scenes of saints' lives, depictions of biblical miracles, all were designed to strengthen faith, to make complex theology accessible to everyone. The message was clear. The Catholic Church was strong. It was vibrant. The church served the Florentine community. This community was deeply Catholic. They were also influential in Rome. Their church became a symbol of their loyalty, a symbol of their commitment to the Reformed Catholic Church. It was a place for grand ceremonies. Section 9, Echoes Through Time, San Giovanni dei Fiorentini, today. Centuries have passed since the first stones were laid. San Giovanni dei Fiorentini still stands proudly. It continues its ancient mission. It is an active place of worship. Mass is celebrated regularly. The faithful still gather within its historic walls. This continuity is powerful. It connects the present day directly to its rich past. The prayers of today echo the prayers of generations. This living faith is the Church's beating heart. The church is also a monument of immense historical and artistic importance. Tourists and art lovers flock to see it. They marvel at its architecture, they study its paintings and sculptures. Scholars continue to research its history, to uncover new details about its construction and its art. It is a classroom, a museum, a source of endless fascination. It offers a profound insight into Roman and Florentine culture. It is a key to understanding a vital period of European history. Visiting San Giovanni dei Fiorentini is a journey. It takes you back in time. You can almost hear the chisels of the sculptors, the discussions of the architects, the chants of the choir. It connects us to the people who built it, the artists who adorned it, the worshippers who filled it.